Some people grow up feeling safe at home. Emotions are welcomed. Comfort comes naturally. Love is spoken without hesitation. And some of us grow up differently. Not in chaos, not always in obvious pain, but in emotional distance. A home where conversations stay on the surface, where feelings feel out of place, where vulnerability quietly learns to hide. You share a house, but not understanding. You sit at the same table, but feel unseen. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to experience something confusing. The people who are supposed to feel closest feel more unfamiliar than strangers outside your home. You learn early which emotions are safe to show and which ones must remain private. Excitement becomes too much. Sadness becomes inconvenient. Questions become silence. So you adapt. You become calm, independent, self-contained. Not because you were naturally distant, but because distance felt safer. I remember noticing, even as a child, that I spoke differently at home than I did with friends. Outside, I laughed more easily. I felt lighter, more real. At home, something inside me closed quietly. Not dramatically, just enough to protect what wasn't understood. And without anyone teaching it directly, you begin raising yourself. You comfort your own fears. You explain life to yourself. You become both the child and the parent at the same time. You learn responsibility early, not through guidance, but through absence. And later, when you see families who speak openly, who hug naturally, who trust each other easily, a quiet jealousy can appear. Not bitterness, just a soft question. What would it feel like to grow up feeling emotionally safe? That comparison can hurt in ways that are difficult to explain, because nothing looks obviously wrong. There were meals, there was structure, there was normal life from the outside. But love is not only presence, it is emotional warmth. And when warmth is missing, a child learns to survive without it. For a long time, I thought this meant something was missing in me. Maybe I was too sensitive, too different, too difficult to understand. But slowly, another understanding appeared. Sometimes families cannot give emotional closeness, not because you are unworthy of it, but because they never learned it themselves. People can only offer the language of love they were taught, and some generations learned silence instead. Realizing this didn't erase the sadness, but it changed the direction of blame. I stopped asking, why wasn't I loved correctly? And began asking, what did this experience teach me? Growing up emotionally alone teaches awareness. You learn to read subtle signals, to understand people deeply, to sense emotions others overlook. You become strong in invisible ways. You learn self-reflection, empathy, emotional independence. You become someone who knows how important kindness truly is, because you once needed it quietly. And something unexpected happens later in life. You begin creating the warmth you once searched for, in friendships, in chosen family, in small moments of genuine connection. You learn that family is not only biology. Sometimes family is recognition. People who see you clearly and allow you to exist without shrinking. The child who raised themselves does not disappear, but they grow into an adult capable of offering others the understanding they once needed. And that is a different kind of strength. Not hardness, but conscious gentleness. What if your childhood did not only take something from you, but also shaped a depth that could not have formed otherwise? What if becoming your own parent was not proof of abandonment, but the beginning of self-trust? And what if the love you missed early is not lost forever, but something you now have the power to create intentionally? Maybe your story was never about lacking family. Maybe it was about learning that belonging can be built, slowly, carefully, with people who feel like home, even if they arrived later in life. I wonder, do you feel more understood by friends than by your own relatives? And when did you first notice that feeling? I will be here again soon. Until then, take gentle care of yourself.